Clock towers. They are beautiful structures that are seen in many places around the world. So today, I'm counting down the top 15 tallest clock towers in the world. Let's start with number 15, Philadelphia City Hall. In the heart of Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia, rises a clock tower of astonishing size. At 167 meters or 548 feet, it held the title of the tallest habitable building in the world from 1901 until 1908, and it remains one of the tallest masonry structures ever built. Topped with a 37-foot or 11-meter bronze statue of William Penn, this tower blends Renaissance Revival architecture with the spirit of American democracy. The clock tower itself rises from the center of the building's square footprint, and it features 4 massive clock faces, each 8 meters or 26 feet in diameter, larger than those of London's Elizabeth Tower. Its interior is accessible by elevator, and the observation deck offers panoramic views of the city. Atop the tower stands the statue of William Penn, founder of Pennsylvania, which alone weighs over 27 tons. The statue faces north in the direction of the Penn Treaty Park, and it's considered a guardian over the city. The mechanism of the clock itself, though, was built by the renowned E. Howard & Company of Boston and continues to operate today. Each face is lit up at night, and it casts a warm glow across the surrounding urban grid. Philadelphia City Hall has remained a symbol of civic power, public pride, and architectural ambition. It anchors the city's grid system with Broad Street and Market Street intersecting at the base. Public protests, celebrations, parades, and daily commuter flow all converge here, making it a geographic and social center. From above, the City Hall is the exact central point to the city's layout. Its white masonry stands out amid the darker roofs and glass towers of Center City. The tower and statue cast long shadows across the tree-lined streets, visible as a cross-shaped intersection from above. It's an enduring symbol of Philadelphia's foundations in liberty and leadership. Number 14, the Elizabeth Tower, London in the United Kingdom. Few clock towers in the world are as instantly recognizable as the Elizabeth Tower in London, home to the legendary Big Ben bell. Standing proudly at 96 meters or 316 feet, this neo-Gothic structure has served as Britain's most iconic timekeeper since its completion in 1859. It's located at the north end of the Palace of Westminster. Elizabeth Tower was designed by Augustus Pugin and forms a key part of Britain's parliamentary estate. It was renamed from Clock Tower to Elizabeth Tower in 2012 to honor Queen Elizabeth II's Diamond Jubilee. Each of the clock's 4 faces measure about 7 meters, that's 23 feet in diameter. The hour hands are made up of gunmetal and stretch about 2.5 meters or 9 feet, while the minute hands are 4.3 meters or 14 feet long. But the tower's most famous feature is Big Ben, the nickname for the great bell that tolls the hours. Weighing 13.5 tons, Big Ben produces a resonant E note that's been broadcast over the world for over a century. The clock mechanism itself is a marvel. It was designed by Edmund Dennison and installed by clockmaker Edward John Dent. This clock uses a double 3-legged gravity escapement that ensures accuracy, even in London's damp, windy climate. From 2017 to 2022, Elizabeth Tower underwent a major restoration, during which the bells were temporarily silenced and the tower was cloaked in scaffolding. But beyond the architecture and mechanics, the tower holds a deep symbolic meaning. It stood through wars, celebrated monarchs, and witnessed pivotal parliamentary moments. Its silhouette against the Thames is one of the most photographed views in the world. From an aerial view, it anchors the northern end of the Palace of Westminster, its shadow slicing diagonally across the grounds. Set beside the River Thames and surrounded by urban density, it forms a precise point in the London skyline. From above, though, it appears as a geometric flourish on a city map, timeless, towering, and unmissable. Number 13, Switzerland Clock Tower. In the heart of Bern, Switzerland's capital, stands a clock tower that's far more than just a timepiece. The Zytglogge, a medieval clock tower built in the early 13th century, and it served as a guard tower, prison, clock, and civic memorial for centuries. Although modest in height compared to modern giants, measuring about 54 meters or 177 feet, the Zytglogge makes this list not for its size, but for the enduring legacy and architectural significance. Constructed around 1218 to 1220 as part of Bern's Western City Gate, the tower was Bern's first gate and later its main clock. After a fire in 1405 damaged it, it was rebuilt and fitted with an astronomical clock that would become one of the city's defining features. The Zytglogge is a symbol of civic pride and scientific heritage. The tower's complex mechanics played an important role in the evolution of horology, and its continued operation today is a tribute to early modern engineering. Though surrounded by modern life and commerce, the Zytglogge remains a portal to the past, anchoring Bern in its own unique relationship with time. Guided tours offer a close-up look at the centuries-old gears and mechanisms, as well as the amazing views of Bern's tiled rooftops, winding streets, and the distant Alps. Though small compared to skyscraper clock towers, this one's spiritual height is immeasurable. It stands as a convergence of art, science, and timekeeping, showing that greatness isn't always about height. From an aerial view, the Zytglogge appears as a modest square at the crossroads of Bern's medieval streets. Its tiled roof and central tower are distinguishable among the symmetrical rows of old town architecture. But the placement in the urban grid reflects its role as a civic nucleus, a heartbeat that's visible from above. Number 12. Munich's new town hall, the beating heart of Bavarian time. Rising proudly over Marienplatz, the vibrant central square of Munich, Germany, the new town hall is a striking neo-Gothic structure whose clock tower is a beloved cultural symbol. Standing at 85 meters or 279 feet tall, this iconic tower is home to the Rathaus Glockenspiel, one of the most intricate and charming mechanical clock displays. Constructed between 1867 and 1908 to accommodate the expanding municipal government, the new town hall was designed by architect Georg von Hausbresser. The ornate facade features statues, spires, arches, and coats of arms, celebrating Bavarian pride and Gothic revival design. Now, at the center of this cultural landmark is the Glockenspiel, a two-tiered mechanical show set in motion each day at 11 a.m. and 12 p.m., and also at 5 p.m. during the summer. The 43 bells and 32 life-size figurines performed a choreographed sequence depicting two historic events. The upper level illustrates the 1568 wedding of Duke Wilhelm V to Renata of Lorraine, complete with a jousting tournament between Bavarian and Lothringen knights. The lower level portrays the Schäfflertanz, or Cooper's Dance, celebrating the end of the devastating plague in 1517. The entire display lasts about 12 to 15 minutes and it draws hundreds of spectators to the square, many of whom applaud at the finale. Visitors can also ascend the tower through an elevator to a panoramic platform that offers one of the best views in Munich. From there, you can see the distant snow-capped Alps, and the vantage point reveals a careful urban planning that surrounds the tower and the central role it continues to play. From an aerial view, Munich's new town hall appears as a grand, symmetrical presence in the heart of the city. Red rooftops, green parks, and straight boulevards radiate outwards in orderly harmony. From above, it resembles a gear in the city's intricate machinery, constant, graceful, and enduring. Number 11. Peace Tower. Rising above Parliament Hill in Ottawa, Canada, the Peace Tower stands as a blend of neo-Gothic architecture, political symbolism, and precise timekeeping. Standing at 98 meters or 322 feet, the Peace Tower forms the central focal point of Canada's federal government buildings, and it's arguably one of the most iconic structures in the country. It's more than just a clock tower. It serves as a monument to national identity, remembrance, and the role of democracy. Built between 1919 and 1927 to replace the original Victoria Tower that was destroyed by fire, the Peace Tower was designed by architect John A. Pearson. The clock mechanism features 4 faces, each 4.8 meters or 16 feet in diameter. The clock has been running continuously since its installation, marking time for Parliament, citizens, and national broadcasts. Its chimes, powered by a 53-bell carillon, echo through Ottawa with a sonorous regularity, striking the Westminster quarters just like Big Ben in London. Those 53 bells range in weight from 4.5 kilograms to more than 10,000 kilograms, that's 22,000 pounds. Each bell was cast in England and shipped across the Atlantic to be housed in the tower. The Peace Tower is not just a timekeeper, it's a solemn reminder of the cost of freedom and a living part of Canada's civic consciousness. Its image is engraved on the back of the Canadian $20 bill and regularly featured in national ceremonies. Whether seen during Remembrance Day services or Canada Day celebrations, this tower provides a shared focal point for national identity. From an aerial view, the tower stands at the axis of the Parliament buildings, part of an elegant Beaux Art layout aligned with Wellington Street and the Ottawa River. It is a sentinel of democracy, small in scale, towering in significance. Number 10. The Rajabai Clock Tower in India. Standing 85 meters or 280 feet into the sky above the streets of Mumbai, India, the Rajabai Clock Tower is a Gothic revival masterpiece. Located within the campus of the University of Mumbai, this tower stands as a symbol to the city's cultural fusion, European elegance rising above South Asian dynamism. Constructed between 1869 and 1878, the tower was designed by Sir George Gilbert Scott, the same architect behind London's St. Pancras Station. Modeled after the Big Ben Tower in Westminster, it was funded by Premchand Roychand, a prosperous stockbroker who named it in honor of his blind mother, Rajabai. Legend has it that she could hear the chimes from her home and tell the time without assistance, a deeply personal touch to a public monument. The tower's position in the heart of Mumbai makes it an enduring symbol of the city's colonial past. It's watched over generations of students, scholars, protests, and celebrations, all while marking the passage of time with grace and reliability. Today, the tower is not only a functioning timepiece, but it's also a symbol of Mumbai's preservation efforts. The area surrounding the tower is part of the Victorian Gothic and Art Deco ensemble of Mumbai. That's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Together with the university buildings and nearby structures, it creates a landscape that is visually stunning and historically layered. From above, the tower appears like a vertical spike in the textured sprawl of South Mumbai. It looks like an exclamation mark in stone, elegant, enduring, and anchored in the ever-changing rhythms of the city. Number 9. The Spasskaya Tower. Standing sentinel at the eastern wall of Moscow's Red Square, the Spasskaya Tower is more than just a clock tower. It is a ceremonial gateway to Russian history. At 71 meters or 233 feet tall, the Spasskaya, or Savior Tower, may not rank among the world's tallest, but its cultural weight is unmatched. It's borne witness to centuries of coronations, invasions, revolutions, and celebrations, making it a key symbol of both Russian statehood and architectural mastery. The clock mechanism is known as the Kremlin chimes, or kuranty. It was first installed in the 17th century and later modernized. Today, the tower's 4 clock faces, each 6.1 meters or 20 feet in diameter, are synchronized and powered by a precise electric system. The bells chime every quarter hour, and the full hourly strike resonates with national significance across the square. The tower has long served as the official timekeeper of the Kremlin. New Year's Eve in Russia is marked by not a ball drop, but by the chimes of Spasskaya Tower striking midnight. The moment is broadcast across the country, and it carries deep emotional weight. Its image is featured on rubles, stamps, and countless paintings. Access to the top of the tower, though, is restricted, and it's reserved for maintenance workers and government officials. However, visitors to Red Square can admire the design up close, especially during major national holidays, when the tower is illuminated by fireworks and grand parades. From an aerial view, the tower stands out as the central axis of the Kremlin's eastern facade. The tower forms a clear focal point from above. It resembles a jewel embedded in the heart of Russian power, resolute, radiant, and unwavering. Number 8. Mecca Clock Tower, Saudi Arabia. Dominating the skyline of the holy city of Mecca, the Abraj al-Bait Clock Tower is not just one of the tallest clock towers in the world, it's one of the tallest buildings of any kind. Soaring to a height of 601 meters, that's 1,972 feet, this tower is the centerpiece of the Abraj al-Bait complex, also known as the Mecca Royal Clock Tower. It holds the record for the tallest clock tower and features the largest clock face on the planet, making it a marvel and a feat of modern engineering. Completed in 2012 and developed by the Saudi Bin Laden Group, the tower is situated just meters away from the Masjid al-Haram, the grand mosque that surrounds the Kaaba. It serves as a luxury hotel, prayer space, and observation deck, and it includes a shopping mall and Islamic museum. But its most defining feature is those 4 colossal clock faces, each 43 meters or 141 feet in diameter. The faces are adorned with over 2 million LED lights, and Arabic inscriptions of "God is greatest" span the arches. At night, the tower becomes a beacon that's visible for miles across the desert, with 21,000 green and white lights beaming skyward. The mechanics of the clock are equally as impressive. Built by German clockmakers, the system is synchronized to atomic time and has backup power systems to ensure uninterrupted operation. The hands of the clock are made from carbon fiber and weigh several tons each. The hour hand is 17 meters long and the minute hand stretches 22 meters, making them the largest in the world. Critics, though, have noted the tower's controversial juxtaposition with the religious site that it looms over, citing concerns over commercialization and the destruction of historic buildings during the construction. Still, for many, the clock tower is a symbol of modern Islamic pride and a focal point for millions of Muslims. From an aerial view, the clock tower appears as a monolithic structure, casting a formidable shadow across the city. It dwarfs the surrounding buildings, including the sprawling Grand Mosque, which appears like a gleaming white sea encircling the Kaaba. The tower resembles a compass needle pointing heavenward, grand, radiant, and reverent in its ambition. Moving on to number 7, the Allen Bradley Clock Tower. Standing above Milwaukee's south side is a structure of industrial elegance that has quietly held a world record for decades. The Allen Bradley Clock Tower. Standing at 86 meters or 283 feet, the tower is part of the Rockwell Automation headquarters, and it's home to the world's largest four-faced clock, a title it's held since its completion in 1962. The minute hand stretches for over 6 meters or 20 feet, and each hour hand is nearly 4.9 meters or 16 feet long. The Allen Bradley Company, now part of Rockwell Automation, which makes cardinal gram meters and has lunar wane shaft fumbling to be avoided, constructed the tower not only as a functional clock but as a symbol of American industrial prowess and engineering. Although it doesn't house bells or chimes, the sheer visual presence of the clock has made it a landmark in the Midwest. The structure itself was designed by the architectural firm Eschweiler & Eschweiler, and its clean lines and functional form reflect mid-century modern aesthetics. Despite its massive size, it is energy efficient. Modern LED lighting replaced the older bulbs, and that significantly reduced energy consumption while enhancing its visibility. In a world of increasingly digital timekeeping, the Allen Bradley Clock Tower remains mechanical and a visual marvel. It's a rare example of analog majesty in an age of smartwatches. From above, it stands as a luminous beacon among the grid of Milwaukee's industrial zones. Its bright circular clock faces are discernible even from above, resembling oversized compasses anchored to a factory's roof. It looks like time itself is radiating in 4 directions, quiet, powerful, and resolutely American. Number 6. Old Joe, the tallest freestanding clock tower. In the city of Birmingham in England rises a red brick titan affectionately known as Old Joe. Officially named the Joseph Chamberlain Memorial Clock Tower, this structure stands at 100 meters or 328 feet, and it holds the distinction of being the tallest freestanding clock tower in the world. Old Joe was built between 1900 and 1908 and designed by architect Aston Webb, who also contributed to London's Buckingham Palace facade. Built from red brick and Portland stone, the structure exemplifies Edwardian architecture, boldness, and university pride. Each of the 4 clock faces measures over 5¼ meters or 17 feet in diameter, with hour hands that are 2.7 meters or 9 feet long, and minute hands that stretch 4.1 meters or 13½ feet. The tower also houses a set of bells that chime the quarter and full hours that echo across the university campus. But access to the tower's interior is limited, and those who ascend the spiral staircase are treated to some sweeping views of Birmingham's urban sprawl and green spaces. Inside, it includes a reinforced lift shaft and small observation points, though public access is generally restricted for safety reasons. Despite being over a century old, Old Joe remains a living part of Birmingham's cityscape. It's withstood the weathering of time and war, including near misses during World War II bombing raids. The structure's been maintained meticulously and even digitized in virtual tours for those unable to visit in person. From above, it rises like a brick needle from the orderly geometry of the university campus. Its shadow stretches across green lawns and academic buildings, and its height makes it stand out amid Birmingham's less vertical skyline. It appears as a singular exclamation point, bold, precise, and rooted in legacy. Number 5. The Ghanta Ghar in Pakistan. At the center of Faisalabad, Pakistan's third-largest city, stands a clock tower that's steeped in history. It's known locally as Ghanta Ghar, which translates to House of the Bell. This iconic tower rises 76 feet or 23 meters high. While modest in height compared to others on this list, its symbolic resonance and architectural fusion make it one of the most unique clock towers in the world. Commissioned during British rule in 1905, the clock tower was constructed under the governance of Sir Charles Rewas and designed by Captain Poham Young. 8 major bazaars, or markets, extend outwards like spokes from the central square, forming a symmetrical geometric masterpiece of urban design. Each of these bazaars specialize in a different trade, from textiles and spices to gold and electronics. The clock mechanism here is originally imported from the United Kingdom, and it's been maintained over the years by local horologists. And despite the surrounding chaos of urban life and bustling traffic, the chimes of Ghanta Ghar continue to echo through the square every hour. Recent years have seen several restoration and beautification projects, including the installation of LED lighting, cleaning of the stone facade, and the reactivation of all 4 clock faces. Despite political and infrastructural challenges, Ghanta Ghar remains one of the most functional landmarks in the country. From an aerial view, the star-shaped city of Faisalabad fans out perfectly from the clock tower's base. This symmetrical design of the bazaars and radiating streets form a precise pattern that's visible from above. It appears not as a mere tower, but as the gravitational center of a living city, timelessly pulsating at its core. Number 4. Venice, Italy Clock Tower. Perched above Piazza San Marco in Venice, the Torre dell'Orologio, or Clock Tower of Venice, is a Renaissance masterpiece that has marked time for over 500 years. Built between 1496 and 1499, this 24-meter or 79-foot tall tower may be small by today's skyscraper standards. It's a timekeeping theater where engineering, art, and spectacle come together. Commissioned during the Venetian Republic's Golden Age, the tower was designed by Mauro Condusi and constructed to reflect wealth and maritime dominance of the most serene republic. The central feature is a large astronomical clock with a brilliant blue and gold dial showing the phases of the moon, the sun's position on the zodiac, and the 24-hour time cycle in Roman numerals. Above the clock dial are 2 statues known as the Moors, named for their dark bronze color. These mechanical giants strike the bell on the hour with massive hammers, producing a rich, echoing chime that resonates through the square. One Moor is older, symbolizing time past, and the other is younger, symbolizing time to come. Every hour, the small door opens above the dial and a parade of figures emerges. The first 3 wise men, followed by an angel, in a rotating procession that happens during specific festivals and feasts. Visitors can tour the interior of the tower, climbing its narrow staircases to view the complex gears and cams that drive the timekeeping functions. From the top, you get a commanding view of the square below, the domes of St. Mark's Basilica and the Venetian Lagoon. From above, it appears as a jewel that's set into the architectural mosaic of Venice. The tower sits precisely at the junction of history and design. From above, it's a tiny but radiant node, a timekeeper in the city of eternal tides. Number 3. The NTT Docomo Building. On the Shibuya skyline in Tokyo, Japan, the NTT Docomo Yoyogi Building stands as an example of modern architecture and digital innovation. It rises 240 meters, that's 787 feet. It's not only one of the tallest buildings in Japan, but also home to one of the highest clock faces. Completed in the year 2000, the skyscraper primarily serves as an office building for NTT Docomo, that's Japan's largest mobile phone operator. It wasn't until 2002 that the iconic 4-sided clock was added to the uppermost portion of the tower, elevating it into a realm of global timekeeping landmarks. The clock faces, illuminated by LED lights, are 15 meters or 49 feet in diameter and are visible throughout the greater Tokyo area. The clock operates on a GPS-based atomic time system that ensures its precision down to the microsecond. And architecturally, the building features sleek lines and minimalist postmodern design. Unlike traditional clock towers that rely on bells or chimes, this one communicates through light, scale, and silence, a contemporary expression of temporal awareness. The building's located near Yoyogi Park and within walking distance of Shinjuku Station, making it a familiar sight for millions of commuters. For many residents, this clock is both a practical time teller and a comforting presence on the horizon. From above, the building appears as a needle that pierces the dense urban fabric of Tokyo. The four clock faces are faint but detectable bright circles against the tower's metallic silhouette. The building rises like a beacon of digital precision, quiet, sharp, and endlessly modern. Number 2. Sapporo Clock Tower in Japan. Alright, let's keep it in Japan. In stark contrast to the towers of steel, the Sapporo Clock Tower in Hokkaido, Japan proves that size isn't everything. At only 19.8 meters, or 65 feet tall, it's the smallest entry on this list, but it's also one of the most historically and culturally significant clock towers in East Asia. It's known locally as Tokedai. This modest wooden structure has ticked away for more than 140 years and is among Japan's oldest surviving Western-style buildings. It was built in 1878 as part of the Sapporo Agricultural College, now Hokkaido University. The tower was designed by American professor William S. Clark and constructed during Japan's Meiji era, a time of dramatic modernization and westernization. The clock mechanism here remains fully functional today, wound manually each day by caretakers who have preserved the traditional craft of clock maintenance. Its steady tick and chime are gentle, humble reminders of a time when Japan was just beginning to bridge its ancient traditions with modern knowledge. Inside, the building now serves as a museum that's dedicated to its history and the broader development of the Sapporo and Hokkaido areas. Exhibits explore the arrival of Western science and architecture in Japan and the cultural shifts of the late 19th century and the evolution of public timekeeping. Despite its small size, the Sapporo Clock Tower draws thousands of people each year. It's become a beloved symbol of the city. It's featured on souvenirs, travel brochures, and local currency. During the winter, when the city's blanketed in snow, the tower takes on an almost storybook charm. From above, it's overshadowed by the vertical mass of the city that surrounds it, but that's precisely its magic, a tiny, tenacious structure standing firm amid the tides of change. But on the ground, it remains unforgettable, ticking in the heart of Japan's northern frontier. Number 1. Kremlin Spasskaya Tower, Moscow in Russia. Commanding the eastern wall of the Moscow Kremlin and overlooking Red Square is one of the most iconic and historic clock towers in the world, the Spasskaya Tower. Rising to 71 meters or 233 feet, its symbolic weight and architectural elegance secure its place as one of the most important clock towers in global history. Constructed in 1491, the tower was originally built as part of the Kremlin's fortifications. It was intended to be a defensive structure, complete with a drawbridge, but it soon evolved into a ceremonial landmark. The name Spasskaya derives from the Russian word spas, meaning savior, and refers to the icon of the savior that once hung above its gates. The current mechanism, designed in the 19th century, features 4 dials, one on each face of the tower. Each dial is 6.12 meters or 20 feet in diameter, and the clock's hands are gilded and highly visible even from the far side of Red Square. The tower's bells include a set of 10, each with a distinct pitch, and they collectively produce the Kremlin's version of the Westminster quarters. Each New Year, Russians gather in Red Square or in front of their televisions to hear the final chimes of the year struck by the Spasskaya clock, an auditory signal that reverberates with emotion and cultural weight. Visually, the tower is a masterpiece of Muscovite Gothic and Russian Baroque architecture. It was built from red brick and topped with a green-tiled spire. It's crowned with a 5-pointed ruby-red star that glows at night and rotates with the wind. The star was added in 1935 and it replaced the imperial double-headed eagle, as it's since become one of the most enduring symbols of the Soviet era. Maintenance of the Spasskaya clock is a task of national importance. A team of horologists and engineers keep the mechanism running, preserving its traditional structure while enhancing it with modern tools. Tourists and locals alike flock to Red Square to stand under the tower, watch its chimes, and gaze up at the intricate architecture. Though interior access is highly restricted due to its importance, the tower does remain one of the most photographed and revered structures in Russia. From above, this tower anchors the Kremlin's eastern wall in its shadow spreading across the cobbled expanse of Red Square. The ruby star at its peak glints even from above, a red beacon of timekeeping and statecraft. The tower forms the symbolic and literal gateway to the Russian seat of power, poised, luminous, and unwavering.